Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm so glad you could join us today. We have a very serious topic to talk about today. But first, I want to introduce my guest, Doc Lanau. Am I saying it correctly? Probably not.
Lanu.
Lanu. And
Lanu.
actually, if you want to introduce yourself, I'm going to throw your name up on the screen. I usually have
Sir.
that turned off, and then people can find you.
Yes, Dr. Lanu story time. Basically like to write and tell stories. I'd like to find short stories that we may have grown up with. Sometimes we'll read those. I also like to talk about topics that kind of fancies my interest of the day. So it could
Yeah.
be anything from what we're talking about today to some random news article that I came across.
I did notice recently you're talking a lot about cybersecurity, which I'm very interested in. So I've been the last few weeks anyway. I've been really paying attention to your show. Doc usually streams on Sundays just before I do. We're
Mhm.
reversing it this time though because we're combining our shows. We're starting here, and then we're gonna just mosey on down the road and end up at Doc's house. So we'll let y'all know when that happens. But I noticed, like I said, you're really into the cybersecurity stuff. Is that like part of your real life? Do you do that for a living, or is it just
There,
something you're interested in?
Yeah, there is some real life involvement in that part of it,
Okay.
and of course, that's one of those areas that you kind of have to stay on top of
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
in my world, and sometimes you have to tell the end users stop doing the silly stuff.
Well, and it's always updating and changing. I do
Yes.
watch for fun a lot of those, scammer channels, like
Mhm.
Scammer Payback and all, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And I find those very interesting and helpful because these scammers, are always coming up with new ways to, like,
Well,
get in there, right?
yes, and even the most carefulest network security people can get tricked because
Mhm.
new scams are these guys are very very good at what they do. Uh,
Exactly.
and y- when you learn and figure out one scam, you kind of have to be watching out for the new one.
Yes, absolutely. Quick tip, nobody you owe money to will ever ask you to pay them in gift cards. Just a real quick tip there.
I'd say real quick tip is anyone ever contacts you via text with a
Mhm.
link to pay for something,
No.
go verify that in a different way or form or source.
Yep, go onto your computer and pull up the company's website, and call them directly.
Yeah.
Don't don't take an incoming call and then give them money. Tell them you'll call them back, you know? So let's get into this. By the way, Doc's um, channel and stuff is in. I think I put it in the. If it's not in the description right now, it's in the chat right now, and I will put it in the description before anybody is watching this after the fact. But definitely go subscribe over there. He's got really good content. I like it a lot, or he wouldn't be here, right?
I think I like that. I like when the people, other creators, tell me that they like what I do.
Yeah,
Uh, I've got room for improvement, but that's the only way to improve is by doing.
absolutely. It takes practice, right?
Oh
And
yes.
of course, we have Ava here, and we have Zena. Zena, wake up! You're on the job. Yeah, if if you guys want Xena awake, you will have to do a super chat. Anytime anybody who's here from Doc's channel, on my channel, when anybody decides they like me well enough to support the show, I give the doggos over here a little mini milk bone. And if somebody decides they want to support the show in a larger manner, like $20 or more, then they get a freeze dried, not even freeze dried, just dried duck foot that Cerebral Tackle sent me. They're really disgusting. I make a weird face every time I have to open the bag. So if you want to see that, that's what happens. So today we're talking about Tyler Barriss and his escapades. Let's just start off with uh, just a quick. Tyler Barriss thought he was cool by making fake phone calls and swatting people and calling in bomb threats. I'm going to play a call and then we'll get right into the story. But first, thank you very much for the gifted membership, News Now Enemy. News Now Enemy showing the people how it works. Keep in mind during the Overruled show, which this is one of, if we are in the middle of a very serious topic, I will hold the super chats until we have a break instead of just like right in the middle of a horrific story, cutting it and giving the dog treats. During the Booze and Body Cam show and the Crime Land shows, we usually just stop where we're at. This is April. Thank you. And Zena, can you catch? She did it. She caught for you, News Now Enemy. How about that? She just put her face right back into the pillows like an ostrich.
I look at your dogs, and I yesterday I was leaving out of the house to to go out for lunch.
Yep.
And two of my neighbors' dogs saw me and my wife outside and ran to us just to say hi.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the 911 call of this. This is what all of what we're going to talk about culminated in. So we're going to start at the end and then we're going to go back to the beginning and show you guys how we got here.
Hello? Hello?
This is 911. What's going on? Hello?
Yeah.
This is 911. What's going on?
I recently got disconnected. I had told you guys everything that happened, but the argument with my mom and dad.
Okay. What's your address? Hello?
Yeah, it's 1033 West McCormick Street.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
They were arguing and I shot him in the head and he's not breathing anymore.
Okay, so what's going on right now? Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any weapons on you?
Yeah, I do.
What kind of weapons do you have?
A handgun.
What kind of handgun is it?
I don't know, it's my dad's.
What color is it?
It's black.
Where exactly are you at in the house?
By the closet.
Okay, what closet?
My mom's.
Where's that at in the house?
In her room, which is where she's at, and my little brother.
You have a little brother?
Yeah. I was on the phone with you guys earlier, telling you guys about it. I just got disconnected.
Okay. Well, we're going to try to get you some help. Where exactly in the house, like, is this a one-story or two-story house?
It's one story.
Is it towards the front of the house, the back of the house?
Well, like, it's like towards the back, I guess. I'm just pointing the gun at them, making sure they stay in the closet, my mom and my little brother.
Okay, is there any way you can put the gun up?
No. Are you guys sending someone over here? Because then I'm definitely not going to put it away.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and stay on the phone with you, okay?
That's fine. Until they get here, or?
As long as you need me to, okay?
Yeah, I'm thinking about, because I already poured gasoline all over the house. I might just set it on fire.
Okay, well, we don't need to do that, okay?
In a little bit, I might.
Why would you do that?
Do you have my address correct?
Can you verify it for me again?
It's 1033 West McCormick Street. My zip code is 67213.
Okay. So which way does your house face? Like, does your front door face north, south, east, west?
I don't know. It's just facing the street. My dad isn't breathing. It's kind of giving me anxiety, making me like paranoid. Hello?
I'm still here. I'm still here, okay?
Yeah, me too.
Okay, are you white, black, Asian, Hispanic? Are you there?
Yeah.
Are you white, black, Asian, Hispanic?
It was an accident, so.
Okay, that's fine. Are you there? Talk to me. Hello? Are you there? Hello?
So, David Persons in the chat says he hopes that this guy gets 10 years standing on his head in the bathroom for this. It has a happy ending, I'll tell you that. But before we can get to the happy ending, let's go back to the start. So, Tyler Barriss, who we just heard on that phone call, went by the name Swatistic on Twitter. And this phone call that we just listened to happened in 2017, December 28th, 2017, just after Christmas. So Tyler was a homeless man living in the streets of Los Angeles when he did this. His father died in a car accident when he was a little itty bitty baby, an infant, and his mother decided to choose drugs and the streets over being a mom. So he was raised by his grandmother. And Tyler was described by people who knew him as awkward, a social outcast by choice, is what people who were interviewed said. So it's not like he was just like, some people are introverts and they're not social. Apparently, this guy was that way by choice. By the way, he went by the username Swatistic. As far as we know, he was not autistic at all. It was spelled SWAUTISTIC on Twitter. And by the way, Doc, just jump in here if you want to add anything.
Yeah, I have a lot to say, but
Okay.
it's more. You know more about his history. I know a lot about when it happened and some of the things he said immediately after it happened.
Yeah, we'll get through. Let me get through the history, and then
Yeah.
So he was a loner. He was an excessive online gamer. He had actually aspirations of being a professional Halo player, which, by the way, I knew that people were professional gamers, but I didn't realize Halo was a big. Maybe guess back in 2017, maybe it was.
I would say back in the day, I wouldn't mind being a professional gamer.
A professional Halo player.
Well, it was of any kind gamer. But truth is, like any professionals, I'm going to use the term sports loosely. It's very, very difficult to get to that field. So you have to have other skills.
It's kind of like being, playing baseball in high school and not doing anything else, just thinking that you're going to become a professional baseball player, like a star professional baseball player, and not having any backup plans at all. So that's kind of where he was at, but with the video game Halo. The thing that set him apart was he was a trash talker. So I guess there's like a lobby of these video games when people are playing online, and people like say mean things to each other, and he was really good at insulting people. So he thought that he was so good at this that he could make a profession out of it, which, by the way, he may have been able to do that if he decided to be a Twitch streamer or something like that. I know a lot of people watch people like that because they think it's funny.
Well, I mean, for me, it's like if I'm playing a video game and I'm stuck in a part, I go find someone who has played that area, and they show you what they're doing.
Yep.
And those are YouTube channels, Twitch, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, to click and views on those.
Yeah, exactly. So in February of 2015, so like I said, the thing that we just heard was in 2017. So we're going back 2 years. He was trash talking in a Halo lobby, and he ended up pissing off the wrong person. And this is like his villain, like his beginning of his villain arc. So he gets swatted himself. An unknown Halo player in that server, in that game, figured out Tyler's address, his grandma's address, and they swatted his house in Los Angeles. In an interview after, like, the news interviewed him after he got swatted, like the local news, and he didn't say he was scared. He said he thought it was really cool that he got squatted. He said there was a helicopters, there was a SWAT team, the police canines were there, the whole 9 yards, and he thought that that was just the coolest thing. He thought he was so important that somebody would go through the effort of figuring out who he was and sending the police to his house. So he decided to start digging in, deep diving of other swatting incidents. He researched VPNs and VoIPs, which, if you want to take a second,
Mm.
tell people what it is.
Yeah, I was going to add that just indicates a mindset that he has, in the sense that
Mhm.
he did not see the danger; he saw the thrill.
Yeah.
And anyone that's been around the block once or twice knows what the danger is.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to the danger, right?
Yes.
So do you want to explain, just for people who don't know what it is, what a VPN is and what a VoIP is?
Yes. So first, VPN, virtual private network, is a means for you to hide your traffic between your location and to where it's going. It's a way to make it look like you're actually on a computer somewhere else. A lot of people use VPN to access content that they could not access in the United States. For example, they
Yep.
make themselves look like they're in Canada. And that way they can hit the Canadian Netflix server instead of the United States Netflix server. I'm not going to say that's legit. That's morally correct or not, but I'm just going to say I guess that's a good way of using it for
Yeah.
a person. But a lot of times it is to hide. It is
Mhm.
to means to hide. So, and those that's up to no good, they are using it to hide their location so they can harass or intimidate.
Yep.
VoIP is stands for Voice over IP, or
Mhm.
Internet Protocol. Many devices are using Voice over IP. If you work in an environment that has Teams calling, Google Voice, or some other calling that's using your basically the network, that's the technology it's using, Voice over IP. It also gives you the opportunity to get a phone number from another part of the country or world
Mhm.
that is not where you're at. You can simply go to a service like Google Voice. I'm going to use them as an example. Say you want a phone number from California and look like you're calling from California.
Mhm.
So, and a lot of companies do that now.
So,
I
and
could,
by the way, it's free. I highly suggest everybody getting an extra phone number. Google, if you have a Gmail account, you can have an extra phone number for free. If you notice in my channel description, there's a phone number there. That does not go to my cell phone. It's a VoIP number
you're right,
through
and I did,
Google.
and I've done the same thing myself. I use it when I'm testing something out that's outside of our VoIP
Mhm.
technology. So I use it professionally that way,
Yep.
and I also use it as a means to, okay, here's my phone number if you have to get in touch with me through through YouTube.
It's also good to have for all of these places where they're going to give you a discount if you give them your phone number, or like like if you're signing up for Pizza Hut, for instance, they want a phone number. You don't have to give them your real phone number. You use this throwaway fake phone number, right? That's what I use it for too. I don't want I want to get the Ulta rewards, but I don't want them to be able to track me. So
Right.
also good to have for that. He was also using a voice altering software sometimes, not all the time. But his issue was he was using the same voice altering software for all of the phone calls. So if they were matching up, he did this a lot. We're going to get to that. But the FBI was investigating him. And if you're using the same voice over the same voice altering software, words are hard, for the same one, they can match it up with each other. So that's where he ran into a problem. He started writing scripts. He was researching these phone calls, so he was writing scripts of how to sound believable, so the police wouldn't know just right off the bat that it was a fake phone call. He had IP address grabbing software where you can send somebody a link and they think they're clicking a link to open a photo or something like that, and it actually is grabbing that person's IP address. Don't click links either, people. Like if somebody you don't know sends you a link, don't click it. Absolutely not.
Yes, definitely. You have to have 2 or 3 degrees more caution than maybe than you need 10 years ago.
Yep, exactly. So like I said, his online alias was Swatistic, and he started calling in bomb threats and swatting calls just for shits and giggles. He called in about 30 different bomb threats to schools all over the country, and then he would brag about it on Twitter. And he would post, he would like record himself posting these, or making these phone calls, and then the news stories that went along with it. So he was bragging about it on Twitter, all of this stuff that he was doing.
And I'm going to just say this. It seems like that's also a common denominator for these guys. They brag about it on social media.
Yeah. We were just talking about that last night. We were playing that Dumb Criminals game online last night. By the way, if you're a member of my channel, once a month we play a board game. Last night we played Dumb Criminals, but we all get together and hang out and play games like that together. So if you are interested in hanging out with us, definitely become a member and come hang out next month. Here's one of those news stories about one of the calls that he made
this morning after police say somebody...
Sorry, sound would be good.
Rice Memorial High School was under lockdown this morning after police say somebody made a bomb threat. South Burlington police say they were called to the school just after 8:15, while investigators say it didn't appear to be credible. The school was placed on lockdown all the same and searched. Police say at this point no arrests have been made, but they do have a few suspects they're looking into. They believe the call was made by somebody in the school community. School officials say classes continued during the lockdown.
It is a disruption. As much as our faculty are able to try to continue teaching in a lockdown scenario, it certainly is disruptive to its day. And being able to keep the kids feeling calm and safe in this, that was the high priority.
The lockdown was lifted around 10 o'clock this morning.
You would see these news stories and he felt like a big man because he was able to make this happen. He was the one that did this. Is a crazy way to get like.
Well, yes, this is, and you look at this, you're wondering what attention did he not get growing up?
Well,
Yeah.
we know that his father died in a car accident, and
Yes.
his mom decided to be a prostitute and do drugs. So
Yeah, I mean, but he was raised by his grandmother, but it makes me wonder, was she just there?
I don't know what his relationship. We find out a little bit about his relationship with his mom, or with his grandma rather, a little bit later, but it did not seem good. Here's another one that he did at an elementary school. He also was. his friends, like his online gaming community, was people from all over the country. It's not just like when we were kids. We're elderly over here. So when I was a kid, my friends were the people in my class, my neighbors, stuff like that. But with the way the internet is now, these kids have friends from all over the world sometimes, but definitely all over the country. Here's another one from Everglades Elementary School in Okeechobee. I really need to turn the volume up.
To you, I'm Shannon Cake. We welcome to the Now South Florida here. We do begin with breaking news today out of Okeechobee County. We're getting word that students at Everglades Elementary School have been forced to evacuate because of a bomb threat. This is a picture of the school right here, the school located at 3725 Southeast 8th Street. The students are being taken to the Agra Civic Center there in Okeechobee County. Parents should be meeting their student there for pickup today. No reports of any injury at this point, but once again, students at Everglades Elementary School have been evacuated this afternoon in Okeechobee County due to this bomb threat. We'll stay on top of this throughout our newscast here.
Muted. No talkie talk.
You know the rules. I don't make the rules. I just work here. I don't make the rules. But when I talk with my mic muted, the issue is it's allergy season here in Georgia. And during allergy season, my nose runs continuously and I have to blow my nose a lot. So what happens is I mute and then I forget to unmute. So give it another 2 months. We'll be over this, I promise. There's Ava. Look at this sweet girl. She loves the milk bones. And Xena woke up for this, which is about all you can ask from her. You ready? And she missed, but that's all right. Thank you for letting me know I was muted. Sorry about that. Yes, it is cookie time. Like I said, I just work here. I don't make the rules. So he called in bomb threats, not just to schools. He started with schools. Like I said, there was over 30 of them, schools evacuated. And this was just random schools. It was also like some kid didn't study for their test, so they would message him on Twitter, and he'd just call in a bomb threat for them because he had it all set up. No issues at all. Didn't think that this... Here's the thing that really gets me, Doc. During this time, and still now today, school shootings and schools like not feeling safe sending your kids to school is a very big concern ever since like the mid 90s, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So just imagine the worry and heartache that this caused parents from all over the country hearing that, oh, the school's been evacuated. Something's going on at the school, even that split second of not knowing if your child is safe or not.
I'm not going to sit here and say, imagine. I was going to sit here and say I have experienced it.
Oh, have you?
Yes. The details, I think the student actually has something that looked like it might go bang, bang.
Oh, wow.
But it was not. It was not the actual thing. But by the time they gave it all clear, there was only 2 hours left of school, and parents were just picking up their kids and taking them home.
Well, and it's so distracting for the kids too. How do you concentrate after something like that? You can't.
They literally had all the kids in the gymnasium on that particular day. So,
and I'd rather honestly have them be safe than sorry, obviously. But there was an occasion when my younger brother, not the one that's in the chat right now, but my littlest brother, my baby brother, worked at Walmart when he was in high school. And at Walmart, he was a store, he like stocked the shelves or whatever. When he was a senior in high school, he was on his way to work after school, and Walmart gives you like a little belt with a little like sheath for your safety box cutter. And having a box cutter at school is a weapon, and he actually was arrested because he had his Walmart, like the Navy. It was when they had the navy blue Walmart shirts and the khaki pants. So he had the whole get up on, leaving school to go to his after school job, and was arrested and had to get bailed out of jail because he had a safety box cutter. So that might be taking it a little bit too far. Also, by the way, he was a troublemaker, so they were looking for any reason to like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just that, but that was just a random one-off. Doesn't have anything to do with this story.
But yeah, no, it doesn't have anything to do with this story. But it kind of helps relate to how easy people will get scared.
Exactly. So he wasn't just doing this to schools, like I said. He was also calling in bomb threats just all of other places. So this happened at the Dallas Convention Center. There was some sort of gaming tournament going on, and I don't know if he didn't like how it was playing out or whatever. Also at the convention center at the same time, there was a children's cheerleading competition going on. So now we have parents again getting scared to death that their kids are in danger. But here's another one that he did.
For the second time in 3 days, hundreds of people were forced from the Dallas Convention Center. This latest evacuation happening this afternoon as that gaming convention continues, and now a cheerleading competition were taking place. In both cases, Dallas officials say there was some sort of bomb threat.
Today they just come out and evacuated all of us, saying we had to just get out, and now we're finding out that it was a bomb threat.
In this afternoon's threat, the all clear was given in about an hour or so after that threat came in. Police have not announced any arrests, but you better bet they're looking for somebody.
They sure are looking for somebody, and they end up finding him. But, here's another one from the Dallas. Let me share this one as well. This one's a little bit longer. It was during, I don't know if he was jealous because remember, like I said earlier, he wanted to be a professional gamer. So he's interrupting the professional gamers doing their thing.
I would think that's
bomb threat that we talked.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that I would think that is probably his reasoning. He wanted to be famous in the video gaming, professional video gaming world.
Like in that sector, yeah.
Yes.
About Kay Bailey Hutchison Convention Center over in Dallas.
Our Ken Molesina live there tonight with new information and what this means for 2 major events scheduled there this weekend.
Yeah, guys, we got official word about an hour ago that the all clear was given here. We also learned from police that all of this happened, or started rather, with a phone call that an employee here at the convention center took. That phone call apparently saying something along the lines of a bomb being placed here and that it was going to detonate in about 30 minutes. That person who took the call told the security teams about that information. They then forced the evacuation, and as you can imagine, it caused quite the headache for all those that were here tonight.
We're vendors, and we got ousted, said that there was a bomb threat.
Rita and Tom McIntyre were
Dallas
Marathon Health and Fitness Expo when they were asked to evacuate.
Very orderly left. Didn't want to, but we did.
Damon George was also inside. He was right in the middle of a gaming convention that was also taking place here. He was among the many who was told to grab his stuff and head for the doors.
And they had us up closer first, and then they came back and said, you guys need to push back further.
As people were asked to leave, Dallas police outside shut down the entire convention center. Inside, the bomb squad, along with K-9, searched every single inch of the building. The response to the threat forced a cancellation of packet pickups for tomorrow morning's 5K and 10K race associated with the BMW Dallas Marathon and Health and Fitness Expo. As for the gamers, they had to stop their competitions, and now they're left waiting on official word as to when they may be able to start again.
Yeah, it'll continue tomorrow, hopefully.
We want to update you on just some information, important information for tomorrow that you need to know for the gamers. We heard from Major League Gaming that everything is scheduled to begin again at 10 o'clock in the morning here. That's for the gamers. Now, for those folks that are racing in the 5K and the 10K tomorrow who did not pick up their packets, they're being asked to pick up their packets over at City Hall about 2 blocks away from here, starting at 6 o'clock in the morning. So that's the very latest on those details for all those folks who wanted to show up here tonight but couldn't get inside. We're live in Dallas. Ken Molestina, CBS 11 News.
So this is what he was doing for funsies over there, out of California. These California people, I'm telling you what. So this all culminates. He ends up getting arrested the first time. And what happens is Tyler, and this is where we're getting into his relationship with his grandma. Tyler and his grandma are sitting in their living room in California in LA, and they're watching TV. And it's just got the local news on, and Tyler is apparently not getting enough cred online, so he wants IRL people praising him for his antics. So he says to his grandma, "Hey, Grams, see those people in that news station? I bet how much you want to make a bet I can get that whole building evacuated in the next 30 minutes." And his grandmother's like, "Oh, Tyler, you silly boy. There's no way you can have that happen. And so Tyler goes into his room, and a few minutes later, the news station is being evacuated.
And yes, that's probably shocked Grandma.
I imagine. So here's a little clip of that.
For those who report the news to become the news, well, that's what happened today to the staff at KABC in Southern California. The station had to do its 4 o'clock newscast from a lawn down the street after a bomb threat forced everyone in that building to evacuate. The station's anchors stood on the grass and used their live trucks to broadcast as though they were reporters in the field. The newscast was lighthearted despite the threat and included shots of the empty newsroom from an unmanned camera. Glendale police say they received a call from an anonymous man who said he had multiple bombs inside that building. A bomb squad and search dogs combed through the building, eventually ruling it safe to re-enter and, of course, do the news.
So Grandma sees this happen and is very upset with Tyler, as you can imagine. Just imagine your kid or your grandkid, and you think that they did this. Obviously, the grandma wasn't sure, obviously, but it's a high likelihood he mentions it, and then all of a sudden the news station is getting evacuated. So she says something to Grandma, and Tyler ends up threatening his grandmother, threatening her, his Meemaw. He's going to do great bodily harm to her if she says anything to anyone. Grams, I imagine saying this to your grandma. I'm thinking of my grandmother, rest her soul. But I would never say anything like that to when I was a kid. I just can't imagine being disrespectful to adults like that. Tyler apparently had no problem threatening bodily harm to his grandmother if she says anything.
And yeah, this just kind of tells you where his mind is.
Yeah.
He so badly wants that clout that he's willing to threaten people.
Exactly.
And people that's probably the closest people to him in real life.
Well, and judging from what we heard from the people who knew him in real life, the interviews and stuff that I saw about him, he was a loner. He didn't really have people in real life. All of his people were online or his family, and he didn't have very much family because of his situation. It was really just him and his grandma. So, so Grandma decides she didn't call the police necessarily, but she did have a friend who was in law enforcement, and she mentions it to this friend and says, "I don't know what to do. He's threatening to, hurt me, physically hurt me if I say anything. So I don't want to be like a snitch, obviously, to my grandson, but something needs to be done. He's out of control. We need to do what do I do?" So the friend ends up, they end up turning him in. And Tyler was investigated and charged with 2 felony counts for that bomb threat of that newsroom. Thank goodness, right? We're finally putting an end to this, you would think. Grandma's putting her foot down. We're putting an end to this. He pled no contest and was sentenced to 32 months, which is 2 years and 8 months in prison. Unfortunately, it was in California, so he was released after 15 months. So a little more than a year. They let him out, which is not very much of a punishment, if you ask me.
I would agree with that. Because that action disrupted a lot of things, scared a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I won't say anything, but right now because I'll probably discuss a little bit myself.
Yeah.
But yes, when you scare someone, you can actually put them in a hospital or worse.
Oh yeah, especially if somebody has a weak heart or just any sort of medical condition. The stress of something like that can put people over the edge, right? So he was released from this first time he actually got caught in August of 2017. Now, while he was in jail for that year and a half, or prison, I guess it was, because it was more than a year. But while he was locked away, his grandmother was really affected by the threats that Tyler was making. So she took out a restraining order on him, said, "You cannot come back to this house." He was over 18 at this time, by the way. He was 20. You can't come back to the house. I want no contact with you. It really rattled Grandma. And Grandma, from what I understand, was doing the best that she could. She was not expecting to raise another child, but she stepped in for Tyler when his parents were not there for him. One, not of his, not by choice, but his mom by choice, right? So this woman stopped her life, put her life on hold to raise this kid, and this is the way it's turning out for her, which is just, it's got to be heartbreaking, I would imagine.
Oh, well, it is. It is.
Yeah. So now he's homeless. He's using the Wi-Fi at Starbucks, at the local library a lot. He would use the internet there, and since he was homeless, he started taking orders on Twitter. He was charging people between $20 and $50. Anybody you have a grudge against, you could just DM Tyler and he will call in a bomb threat for you if you Venmo him $20.
And that number is so low. Again, though, I don't think he recognized the dangers he was creating by doing this. But it's hard for me to imagine someone doing this, but then doing it for money, but the price tag is low.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Come on, you want enough money where you can get a new system. Come on.
Well, and I think what was happening is because he was homeless. Well, first of all, I didn't even get to the part. He ended up going back to his grandmother's house and getting arrested again. And did I miss that part? I did.
Yeah.
So he was almost immediately violated that restraining order, and he was locked back up. And that's when he was then released in 2017. So sorry, I missed a bullet point there. So he did go back to his grandmother's house, and he was living in the shed in the backyard, and then sneaking into the house when she was away from the house to like shower and steal food and stuff like that. But he did get caught inside the house and went back to prison, and like I said, was released in August of 2017. So now he's homeless. He's using the library. He's taking orders. I imagine he was just trying to get his next meal, so he wasn't necessarily haggling. So for $50, he could eat for a day. He might even be able to get a cheap motel room for $50.
Right.
Although it's Los Angeles, so maybe not. I don't know.
It's 2017. He could probably found something.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just having people DM him, charging him between 20 and he said in an interview after everything plays out, he said in an interview from prison that it really depended on who they were and how well he knew them. So if it was somebody he's known for a long time, he'd charge him $20, but if it was just some rando, he'd charge him 50 or up to 50. So during this time, somebody paid him to do a call to Arnold High School in Panama City, Florida. And the reason I want to highlight this one is because this is one of the charges that he ends up in the end. Most of these phone calls, he does not get caught for. He doesn't get charged for, right? But he's bragging about doing them, so that's how we know they did him. But I think after a certain point, the police department is not going to ship him from state to stand charges for each one of these bomb threats. But here's the one from Panama City.
Beach Police Operator 3.
Yeah, I left some bombs at my high school, and they're going to blow up in 15 minutes.
What school is it?
Arnold High.
Where are they at?
Well, there's more than one. I kind of distributed them around the campus, and they're going to blow up in 15 minutes.
What kind of bombs are they? Hello?
Hello?
What kind of bombs are they?
It's around the school. It's dynamite. My dad works with dynamite, so I have access to it.
Why are you blowing up the school? Hello? Hello?
There's dynamite.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why are you blowing up Arnold?
Arnold High School. Report needs from here.
They're going to detonate in 10 minutes.
Can you tell me why you're doing this?
Yeah, because I'm upset with some people. They got me mad, so now they're going to pay for it. And I also have a gun, too. Me and my friend both have guns.
Are you at the school?
Yes, I am.
What is your name?
I'm going to hang up now. There's only about 10 minutes left, so...
What kind of a gun do you have? What kind of a gun do you have?
So that that one he charged somebody $50 for.
And some things I want to point out what he said. That is probably, if it was real, is more alarming. He said that he had bombs in the school.
Yep.
And him and a friend was armed. Now,
yeah.
So if they decide, okay, get the kids outside the classroom because you have bombs, guess what that also creates? If this was a real situation, armed kids now having a heyday on who they get to shoot at.
Yeah. Coming out, shooting them like ducks, like
Yeah.
just coming out of the school like that. There was it's gonna slip my mind her name, but there was a girl back in, I want to say, the mid 80s that lived across the street from a school and did the same thing where the kids were coming out and was just taking them out one by one, and they were little kids. Do you know what story I'm talking about?
I do not.
There's
Unfortunately, I don't.
I was gonna do, I might still, I used to do a show called Crime Behind the Music, where I covered different songs that were written about crimes. And there's a song, I think it's called I Hate Mondays or something like that. This was what she said on the phone when they talked to her. They said, "Why are you doing this?" And she said, "Because I hate Mondays." Yeah, look for that episode. I'm going to research that one a little bit more, and we'll do a whole episode on that. But yeah, it's the same sort of thing where if there's a bomb threat, you got to get the kids out of the school. But if somebody's sitting across the street with a rifle, then you don't want to send the kid. Like it's a very sticky situation, right?
And it does not even have to be across the street. I want to say Parkland shooter did this. He pulled a fire alarms. And the kids came out, and that's how he got acquired his targets. So this is a step between a rock and a hard place for law enforcement school officials.
Yep.
You keep the kids in the classroom. Well, how do you know that classroom is not one of the ones that has a bomb?
Exactly.
So you have to start quickly clearing the building so you can get the kids out.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, doing your bomb search. So it's a very, very, very dangerous situation if it was real. But the law enforcement has no way of knowing if it's real or not.
Yep.
They have to act as if it is.
It was in San Diego, and it was Cleveland Elementary School, and it was January of 1979. So way before the current, the one that I was talking about. The woman's name was, or the girl's name was Brenda Ann Spencer. I think I'll do a deep dive on it. Let me know in the chat if that's something you think you want me to cover.
And I would like to interrupt just for a moment. Steve Cousins has said some very, very nice things about my channel. I do appreciate that, Steve, and thank you for resubscribing. I appreciate that.
And while we're paused here for a second, thank you very much for the gifted membership from News Now Enemy. He just wants to see me wake up the dogs. That's what it is. I appreciate it. Doc appreciates it, right, Doc?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I definitely appreciate
You
it.
know who else appreciates it? Ava.
Well, yeah, you can see it right there. She was jumping up and ready to go.
And Xena will wake up for it. You ready, Xena? Xena caught it again. Awesome. Love that. Thanks, News Now Enemy. I appreciate that. And congratulations to Angela W. for getting that gifted membership. Don't forget you're eligible to participate in game night if you are a member over here. So do you remember the net neutrality thing that was happening back in 2017?
Yes. Yes, that was a big, big thing back then.
I meant to look deeper into it. I remember it happening. I don't remember exactly what it was about. It was a little over my, I'm a little dumb sometimes, so it was a little over my head, you know.
Yeah.
But the FCC was doing this. They were deciding on net neutrality, and not sure what net neutrality. I think it had something to do with the way search engines are set up, like something like that.
It's something more on how I didn't really totally 100% understood it myself back then. Still don't.
Okay.
But it was one of those things that I knew if it got changed, it could affect how we use internet.
Yeah, it was a big deal. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm sure somebody in the chat probably knows more about it than either of us do, but he decided he wanted to interrupt this vote. They were in the middle of voting, so he called in a bomb threat to the FCC. So now we're getting into federal, like, not that it's not already a federal crime to call a different state and call it like it's already a federal, but this is like messing with the government at this point, right? Let me. Okay.
On advice of security, we need to take a brief recess.
Oh, wow. And look at that, everybody. Some breaking news alert as they said they have to recess right now because of security concerns. So very interesting coming out of this FCC vote. This is something a lot of people obviously did not think would happen, but it looked like they had a measurement in place right here for such things. So we will try to get you the very latest on what exactly happened there with that caused this security alert right here, but it has everybody needing to leave the room right now. So this is on recess right now. We'll continue to monitor that here for you. Wow. So breaking news here on News Now with that net neutrality vote. It was tied at 2-2. The chairman was about to give his closing. He was giving his closing remarks and was about to vote on it. And then they had to pull everybody away there for what they were calling a security alert. So we'll try to get you guys the very latest on that. In the meantime,
so this was also Tyler. This is fun for him, I guess, and it ends up not going very well. This next one that he did. So
Yeah. This one, if anything, this one definitely got him out there in the FBI's radar.
Well, that and also this is when they started matching up the voice. Remember I was talking about how he's doing the voice changer, but if you could tell that first phone call that we played and the one that we played for the high school in Florida, it sounds like the same person. And here's the other thing: is he says he was using voice changing stuff. I don't know that he was, because when we go over to your channel, we have a interview queued up to play, and it's unless he's using the voice changer for the interview too. I don't know. Although I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he really was or not. But the point is, the FBI started piecing all of these together. Like, this is the same person making all of these phone calls. It's the same language. It's the same tone. It's the same like sort of even keel. It's the same dude, right? So in December of 2017, there's two teams of players playing Call of Duty, and people in my chat who are gamers are going to hate me because I don't know anything about gaming. So I'm probably going to say things wrong and not understand exactly how this works. But so they're playing an online game of Call of Duty in some server or whatever where you can bet money on the game. So these two teams of players are playing, and there was a $1.50 bet. Remember this, $1.50 is what we're talking about.
$1.50.
$1.50.
Yeah.
So
you can't even get a Mac anything off the Mac Value Menu with $1.50 nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. You could get one item at the $1.25 store when you include tax. So after the game, the losing team started arguing with each other. They're not even arguing with the other team at this point. They're arguing with each other because one of the players accidentally, I assume accidentally, shot somebody on his own team. So Shane Gaskill accidentally shot Casey Viner in this game of Call of Duty, and they lost a whole whopping $1.50.
I feel almost compelled to say, when we say shot, we are talking about their Call of Duty characters.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
Most people would understand it, but it seems like you will always have that one who does not.
In a video game.
Yes.
So it actually in a video game. So his character in Call of Duty shot somebody else's character in Call of Duty in a video game, and they lost $1.50. So Casey Viner and Shane Gaskill starts arguing with each other in the lobby, and then they take it over to Twitter, and they're arguing on Twitter about it. And at this point, Casey messages Swatistic, Tyler Barriss, to inquire about his services. He's heard of this guy. He's following this guy. Casey Viner also thinks it's hilarious that the FCC vote got shut down. And this FCC thing that happened kind of boosted him on Twitter, boosted Swatistic on Twitter because of the notoriety. It was a huge, this net neutrality thing was a huge thing back then. It was all over the place. Every single channel on YouTube was talking about it. You could not swing a dead cat without hitting a story about the net neutrality thing. So Casey DMs Swatistic and says, hey, this guy that I'm arguing with on Twitter and in this video game is a dick, and can you do something about it? So at this point, Shane sees that Swatistic followed him on Twitter. I don't know if any of you are not familiar with Twitter. It shows you when you get a new follower, it shows you it has like, you got a new follower, and here's the new followers.
I want to know what kind of service is Titter. Just wondering.
If somebody like one of these OnlyFans girls does not have that username, they really should, because that was hilarious. Titter. So Shane sees that Swatistic, who's a famous swatter at this point, starts following him on Twitter. And I'm going to read directly from I'll put it up on the screen too. This is from the court case. It has their back and forth messages. So Here we go. So defendant Gaskill noticed that defendant Barriss was following him on Twitter. Defendant Gaskill then began communicating with defendant Barriss through direct electronic messages starting at approximately 5:51 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this is on December 28th, 2017. And I will read Gaskill if you will read Barriss. Okay, so please try some shit. I'll be waiting. 1033 West McCormick Street, Wichita, Kansas, 67217. I'll have you in prison for 5 years, buddy. Casey already gave me all the proof I need. Bah ha 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 ha. Hello, pussy bitch. Say something. Hey.
Hey.
Oh, sorry, that's you. Sorry,
Yeah,
go
that's
ahead.
me. Hey. There was nothing for me to respond to.
Hurry up, fuckboy.
Just one question. May I ask what makes me a fuckboy?
You're going to try and swat me. It's hilarious. I'm waiting, buddy.
What's your age?
Information deleted for purposes of this indictment. My social security number is information deleted. Try something, please, kid. Oh, I'm reading the wrong. No, I'm reading the right thing. Sorry, I'm reading it. I had it all highlighted in different colors, so it would be easier for me to follow along because I am kind of blonde. And now I'm not using that. I'm using just the screen.
Okay.
We're getting there. None of you gamers scare me. You have no idea who my family has connections with. Ha 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 ha.
There's no way that's your social security number. LOL.
You want proof, bud?
Yes, I do. I'm not a gamer, by the way.
My name is Shane Michael Gaskill. Look me up, N-word. I don't got shit to hide. I'm out, fuckboy.
Barriss with a question mark. Where's the proof that that's your social security number? Lol. And why?
What do you mean?
Why you mean you're out? Yeah.
If you don't believe me, I don't know, kid. I gave you everything you need, so try something. Hurry the fuck up. Goodbye. So at approximately 6:10 or 6:11, defendant Barriss, who was located in California, began a series of calls to the Wichita Police Department, downtown security desk in Wichita, Kansas. To disguise his identity, defendant Barriss acquired an assigned telephone number from TextNow, so it appeared that he was calling from a Wichita phone number. Let me go back to my notes instead of this. Let's go back to the bullet points, so I'm just not reading the thing. Okay, so I got the phone call. That's what's next. So the first phone call was not released, but here is the second phone call, and we're going to play that now. So that was the back and forth, which is crazy that just that would get somebody to make the phone call that we're about to hear.
Walk this way! Walk!
Hello? Hello?
This is 911. What's going on? Hello?
Yeah.
This is 911. What's going on?
I recently got disconnected. I had told you guys everything that happened about the argument with my mom and dad.
Okay. What's your address? Hello?
Yeah, it's 1033 West McCormick Street.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
They were arguing and I shot him in the head and he's not breathing anymore.
Okay, so what's going on right now? Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any weapons on you?
Yeah, I do.
What kind of weapons do you have?
A handgun.
What kind of handgun is it?
I don't know. It's my dad's.
What color is it?
It's black.
Where exactly are you at in the house?
By the closet.
Okay, what closet?
My mom's.
Where's that at in the house?
In her room, which is where she's at, and my little brother.
You have a little brother?
Yeah. I was on the phone with you guys earlier, telling you guys about it. I got disconnected.
Okay. Well, we're going to try to get you some help. Where exactly in the house, like, is this a one-story or two-story house?
It's one story.
Is it towards the front of the house, the back of the house?
Well, like, it's like towards the back, I guess. I'm just pointing the gun at them, making sure they stay in the closet. My mom and my little brother.
Okay, is there any way you can put the gun up?
No. Are you guys sending someone over here? Because then I'm definitely not going to put it away.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and stay on the phone with you, okay?
That's fine. Until they get here, or?
As long as you need me to, okay?
Yeah, I'm thinking about, because I already poured gasoline all over the house. I might just set it on fire.
Okay, well, we don't need to do that, okay?
In a little bit, I might.
Why would you do that?
Do you have my address correct?
Can you verify it for me again?
It's 1033 West McCormick Street. My zip code is 67213.
Okay. So which way does your house face? Like, does your front door face north, south, east, west?
I don't know. It's just facing the street. My dad isn't breathing. It's kind of giving me anxiety, making me, like, paranoid. Hello?
I'm still here. I'm still here, okay?
Yeah, me too.
Okay, are you white, black, Asian, Hispanic? Are you there?
Yeah.
Are you white, black, Asian, Hispanic?
It was an accident, so.
Okay, that's fine. Are you there? Talk to me. Hello? Are you there? Hello?
Man.
Okay. So that's crazy, right?
Oh yes, definitely crazy.
And I know we did hear that at the beginning, but I wanted to put it in here in context as well. So when officers arrived, they surrounded the house. The family had just started eating dinner. They were having pasta and baked pork chops. Andrew Finch is the one who made dinner for his whole family that night. And they were sitting in the living room. They weren't really like around the dining room table or whatever, but they were sitting in the living room watching TV, just sat down to dinner. And they hear the SWAT team. Actually, I'm going to pull up, and I don't have this queued up, but I want to pull up the address in Google Maps so you guys can kind of see what the house looked like, the setup of it, just because I think it's good to know. Let's see if I can pull this up in maps. There we go. Let me share this screen. So they're sitting there eating dinner, and it looks like it's blurred out, but maybe we can still sort of see. So yeah, this is the house where it happened, but let me get a different angle. They have it blurred out, but there's an alleyway right next to the house.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can just pull up a photo. Okay, so here you can kind of see it here.
Right.
So there's this is an alleyway over on this side.
Mm-hmm.
So they're surrounding the house. They are, they have this, the whole team is there. And from what I understand, the SWAT team wasn't necessarily there. There was regular cops there as well. There was SWAT there as well, but there was also backup of regular police officers just there.
Mm-hmm.
So people didn't know what they were doing is the issue here. So Andrew Finch opens his front door. They hear the "come out with your hands up," the whole, police banging, with the loudspeakers or whatever. And this is when Officer Justin Rapp fired one round. So Andrew comes out onto the front porch. He's standing in his doorway there, and he comes out with his hands up, but he doesn't know what's going on. He's just having dinner with his family. And he kind of puts his hands down a little bit. And that's when Officer Justin Rapp shoots one round into Andrew. It pierces his lung. Andrew collapses in the doorway, halfway in the house, halfway out of the house. This is the hard part, getting through. So the officers then, on their loudspeaker, tell everybody else in the house to come out the side door. So they do that. Andrew's niece is upstairs, and she's got her headphones on, and she's on, watching. She's on the computer. She can't hear what's going on. She's in her own world. So the cops go in to clear the rest of the house, and they find her. And instead of having her go out the side door, they have her go out the front door and step over her uncle's body while he's laying there dying. Keep in mind, Andrew's niece and nephew, who he also lived with, he raised them because his sister died in a car accident when they were children. So a similar situation. I think it's interesting that
Very interesting.
Tyler's Tyler's dad passed away in a car accident, and he was raised by his grandmother. These kids' mom passed away in a car accident, and they were raised by Andrew Finch. And this young woman had to step over his dying body in the door after having been shot by Justin Rapp, who was not on the SWAT team. He was across the street. He saw Andrew's hands come down. He wasn't even reaching for anything. He just dropped his hands and he shot him. It's so sad.
It's one of those things that again, I wasn't there, so I didn't see everything, but
yeah.
Is it reasonable to believe that when he lowered his hands that at least one of those officers would think he was going for something?
I mean, the Wichita Police Department only released 7 seconds of video.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it hasn't been released. We don't know. And they're not going to tell us, right?
Right.
So, very sad. I mean, the whole thing is very sad, right? But the niece who had to step over her uncle who raised her's body ended up committing suicide 2 years later, which is it's just so tragic and horrible. This affected this family's life so much. And they were just eating dinner. They were having pork chops and pasta.
Yeah, and they had no idea what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
the address was given to Barriss by, I'm sorry, what was that guy's name again? Gaskell. By
Yeah.
Gaskell. Gaskell used to live there, or he lived down the road.
This was his old address. They had moved out of this place about 6 months earlier.
And to my understanding, he was just down the road. So it was almost like he gave that address so he can watch what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's how we ended up here. Is Gaskell felt threatened. There's Casey was threatening him on Twitter, and then he's got this notorious swatter person following him and threatening him on Twitter. So he wanted to act like a big man on campus and be like, "Oh yeah, you ain't gonna do shit. Here's my address. Do something." But he didn't give his address. He gave his old address, which is where this family lived now. Horrible. So let me just run down exactly what happened, and then we have an interview in between this night that this happened and Tyler getting arrested. He decided to go on Drama Alert. You guys remember Keemstar? I don't even know if Keemstar is still around, but he decided to do an interview with Keemstar on Drama Alert before he got arrested. Like it was the next day or something like that. We're going to watch that over on Doc's channel here in just a minute. But let me just run down how this case ended up. And then we're going to head over to Doc's channel. Keep in mind, I have you guys redirected there, but I also want you to definitely subscribe over there, right? And I'm going to put it in the chat once again here. Do a little copy paste. We're going to continue the rest of the story over there, but so don't miss out on that. I know it's a short episode for me today, but that's where we're splitting it into. So in November of 2018, Tyler Barriss was sentenced to 20 years in prison for his role in the swatting incident, as well as for making false bomb threats and other swatting calls. So he was actually found guilty in this one, obviously, the FCC one, and then that one that we played for you that was that Florida high school where we actually heard the phone call. Those are the three that they ended up actually getting him on. The other ones, they know that he did them. He bragged about doing them. He told on himself like the dumb criminal that he is. He told on himself on Twitter, right? So yeah, 20 years in prison. Casey Viner, which is the guy who contacted Swatistic on Twitter in April of 2019, he pled guilty to conspiracy and obstruction of justice. He was sentenced to 15 months in prison, in addition to 2 years probation, during which time he would be banned from playing video games. Viner was released from custody at USP Big Sandy in Kentucky on November 14th, 2020. So he's out now. Keep in mind, the main thing that he got sentenced on was because after this all happened, the three of them started talking and deleting messages and like destroying evidence. So the destruction of evidence was the main thing that he got sentenced for. Now, Shane, who's the one who gave the wrong address, he did a pretrial diversion agreement. The government agreed not to pursue prosecution for at least 18 months if he could just keep his nose clean for 18 months. Gaskill agreed to waive any speedy trial defenses and pay $1,000 in restitution costs and penalties. In September of 2021, it was reported that Gaskill had violated his terms of his pretrial diversion, so he couldn't even do it. He couldn't, just don't break any laws and you don't have to go to prison. It's insane that you can't do that. But he violated his terms of his pretrial diversion, and the trial against Gaskill resumed. He ended up pleading guilty to one count of wire fraud in May of 2022, and he was sentenced to 18 months in prison in September of 2022.
And I'm just going to add something here. For as far as I think Gaskill Well, all three are very, very
Mhm.
much responsible, but I think Gaskell got it off light,
Oh,
personally.
I think so too. He knew what he was doing, right?
Yes, he knew what he's doing. He knew he was endangering those people's lives.
Mhm. So, Dove mentions a civil suit. It says civil suit, I hope. Actually, the family didn't, they weren't even upset with these gamer kids. They were more upset with the police department, who they did sue. They got a $5 million settlement from them. And this is just from my head because I didn't make notes on this, but the cop that did the shooting actually got promoted, which is insane to me.
That and again,
He
it's one of those. It's one
didn't
of the
lose
things I would
didn't lose
love
his
to.
job. Yeah.
I would love to see the notes on that end of the investigation. What did they say? Why it occurred on there? I mean, we know why they were there,
Mhm.
but why did the officer felt threatened at the time when he pulled the trigger?
Well, this officer Rapp has a long list of complaints about him, about excessive force. He was actually on the TV show Cops at one point. They were filming in, the bad boys, what you gonna do? That show. He was the cop that they were following around when they were in Kansas.
Right.
But he's got complaints about him for excessive force. He ends up killing this guy. And one of the interviews I saw, and I don't remember if it was, he said something ridiculous, like if he, 'cause here's let me just gather my thoughts for a second. I'm losing it over this cop because he pisses me off so much. But he said that he's over it and the family needs to be over it as well. Something along those lines. I'm not
Yeah.
quoting, I didn't write it down, but I would feel so bad if you are a good person and you kill somebody that's not supposed to be killed, right? Would you not feel horrible? It seems like he did not even feel horrible. He seems like he's just like, "Well, I was just doing my job. Like, what do you want me to do?" I would move out of I wouldn't want to still be a police officer in that jurisdiction,
Mhm.
personally. This guy did not give a shit.
No,
This
he
cop
didn't.
did not give a crap. The city had to pay out $5 million. The family, after the lawyers' fees and all of that stuff, ended up getting about 3 of that. But that doesn't replace their uncle who raised them. It
No.
doesn't bring
The-
back the niece who ended up committing suicide. And obviously, it wasn't just one thing. It never is when something like this happens. But she had to step over her dying uncle's body.
That alone right there would be reason for me put the law enforcement in the
Yeah.
lawsuit.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that comes to my mind. It was only one officer who shot one round.
Mhm.
No one else saw the danger, so it does make me ask questions.
Yep.
Now, if you had 5 or 6 officers who shot multiple rounds,
Mhm. It might be, yeah.
you can say something in that situation.
Mhm.
They already are on high alert.
Yeah.
But and unfortunately, I don't want to victim blame, but Finch did something that triggered and alerted a high state response.
Yeah.
But was that high state response justified? And I
I
really
don't believe
question
so.
it. I'm questioning it. I'm not going to sit here and say one way or other. I'm just going to say I question it.
Yep. So we're about to go over to your channel. Like I said, I'm going to play the first minute of this before we get to the interview where Keemstar is setting it up, and then we're gonna take the rest of it over to your channel. I think that's
Okay.
the plan.
Okay, and I'm going. I'm going to mute myself and listen while I get myself set up.
Yep, do that. Actually, yeah, I'll play this and my outro, and we will meet you over there in 2 minutes and 47 seconds. So, everybody, we're going to be redirected over to Doc's channel. I will be there. We're going to finish this episode over there. And thank you very much for coming onto my channel, Doc. And I will see you in about 2.5 minutes. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
What is up, Trouble Alert Nation? I'm your host, Keller Keemstar. Let's get right into the news. Now, guys, normally we cover a lot of lighthearted stories here, crack some jokes, but today we have a very, very serious story to talk to you about. And it all started over a competitive Call of Duty game for, get this, $1.50. Last night on UMG Gaming's website, two Call of Duty teams known as LUL and Nuck the Children faced off on Call of Duty World War II on PlayStation for a cash prize of $1.50. Now, obviously, one team lost and one team won, but at the end of the match, both teams started arguing with each other. And the argument escalated to the point where they were threatening to swat each other. Now, for those of you that don't know, swatting is known as an online prank. It's not much of a prank. It's pretty serious. It's when somebody gets someone else's address online, calls into the police, and makes a false police report that there's a hostage situation going on or there's a murder going on, causing the police, guns a-blazing, to go to the address of their enemy. One of the teams dared the other team to go ahead and swat him. He said, "Please try some shit. I'll be waiting, posting this address. I'll have you in prison for 5 years, buddy. Casey already gave me all the proof I need." So once the other team got that address, they didn't do the swatting themselves, but they sent it to a known swatter, a hacker who's been swatting Call of Duty pros and who has been putting in bomb threats to the last MLG event earlier this month. They sent it to a swatter known as Swatastic. And once Swatastic got this address, he called in a fake hostage situation to that address with the police. And when the police showed up, they shot and killed a 28-year-old father who had nothing to do at all with this situation. It happened in Wichita, Kansas. Man dies after being shot by a Wichita officer investigating a possible homicide. The local news, known as the Wichita Eagle, interviewed the family to find out exactly what took place. Here is that interview. Roll it.
I know I had seen the red and blue lights flashing in my window. I heard my son scream. I got up and then I heard a shot. And as I was walking by, this door was open. The police said, "Come out with your hands up." They took me, my roommate, and my granddaughter, who witnessed the shooting and had to step over her dying uncle's body, to come. They took us outside with no shoes on. They handcuffed us, you know. Why couldn't they? Yeah, they didn't call the ambulance until after he was dead. And what gives the cops the right to open fire? Why didn't they give him the same warning they gave us? I mean, that cop murdered my son over a false report in the first place. Yeah, Andy, my son was not a gamer. He was not a gamer. No.
So they just knocked on the door and it was.
They didn't knock on the door. My son opened it because he heard something. He screamed and then they shot him.
This is so incredibly sad and unbelievable that this even happened. UMG, the website where the Call of Duty competitive match took place, put out this statement. "We woke up this morning to the horrible news about an incident with a man losing his life. Our hearts go out to his loved ones. We will do everything we can to assist authorities in this matter." And get this, the swatter, the person that made the fake police call, he said this on Twitter: "I didn't get anyone killed because I didn't discharge a weapon. And being a SWAT member isn't my profession." Unfucking believable. Now, I could not believe that this hacker, swatter, or whatever wasn't taking any responsibility whatsoever. So we reached out to him and we asked him if we could get an interview with him, and we did.
And he said yes. And we're going to watch that over on Doc's channel right now. Go over there, please. I'm going to play the outro and I will meet you guys there in a minute and a half. He's going to start his stream right now and I will be joining please, please, please head over to Doc's channel and definitely subscribe while you're over there. He does great work. I enjoy it very much. I think you will too. We'll see you there in a minute. We'll have Xena and Ava there as well. See you guys in a minute.
I can't understand what you're saying. We're late stage in the catacombs. Shuffling a single card today. Broken table trying to play some ping pong. It's not subtle when we celebrate a magazine with the pages torn. My body cracks, knees buckling. I got a bad case of brain fog. Said I got a bad case of brain fog. So I'ma take my butt home.